I want to take a few minutes and explain the cancer project to you, hopefully answer some questions and make things a little bit simpler for you. Uh, so why do we need to learn about cancer? Well, 1 out of 4 of you in this class will actually end up with cancer. Most cancers are treatable, but it's certainly an important thing to know why we get cancer, how we can avoid cancer, things like that. That means if 1 out of 4 of you getting it, that means the rest of you will know somebody who has cancer. So it will affect everybody at some point or another. Why are we learning about it now? Well, we did go over mitosis. Mitosis is the cause really of cancer. It's uncontrolled mitosis that causes cancer. Generally, a mutation, which we just talked about this week, will cause a problem in the cell cycle, causing your cells to go through mitosis more than it should. So these would not be mutations in your sex cells. That would be passed on to your children. These would be mutations passed on to your skin cells, liver cells, all. All right, so the first few sections here is what we did yesterday. You watched the Amoeba Sisters and Cancer Treatment Centers of America and filled out that form. So you can kind of skip to that. All right, before you do the project, you need to know what you're doing the project on. What kind of cancer are you going to do the project on? I have a list here of different cancers. These are some of the more common ones, so you should have no problem finding any information out on these particular forms of cancer. There are some rare ones out there. You may want to be careful which ones you pick if you pick outside this list. I would choose something that you have personal meaning for. So if you know somebody who has a form of one of these cancers, that might be the best one to choose, something that's meaningful to you. All right, I got a few information that you can find on your slide, but I'll have a better list for you to check out in a second. Just one more thing I want to point out before we go to that list. Uh, do not copy and paste from websites. I do not want to read paragraphs from other websites. Uh, Slide shows like this should be a couple of bullet points. So each slide should have no more than 3 to 5 bullet points on what you want to talk about. If you have more than 5, you should have another slide on that topic. So what are you going to do all this on? Well, linked on Google Classroom is a template that looks like this. So you're going to open that up. It's already linked to Google Classroom. You won't have to load anything up. You'll just do it right here. So first step, whatever the name of your cancer is you're putting there, your name, and what bell you're in. So your first slide should be pretty easy. The second slide is basically the rubric that I'm going to grade your presentation on. So if you want to know exactly what you need, go to slide 2 because it'll be there. So the first thing you need to write is basically the definition explanation. If you want to know how to get the 5 points for definition explanation, make sure you have all of these parts. What is cancer? Name of cancer that's being investigated and what part of the body does it affect? That's what you need to have in definition explanation. I have created a slide that basically says definition explanation. You're just going to add into the text box. The next slide, I've already put all the bold-faced things of what you need. So this slide, you're supposed to list the symptoms and effects, and the possible causes, and then the risk factors, and then the diagnosis, treatment, prognosis, basically how long are they going to live, is it treatable, that kind of thing. And then your sources. So your sources, really, if you find a website that you're getting information from, you should copy that web address there and just post it here. I'm not looking for any specific bibliography per se. Just list your web sites right there, and that's fine for sources. I want to point out that not only do you get points for the sources, but we need to make sure that your presentation looks good. You should throw in pictures. You should have in graphs, things like that that add to the Google presentation. Because let's face it, words are boring. You need a few pictures to help you out. And I just have one slide for each thing. There's some of these that may require extra slides added. You can add as many slides as you want. They don't cost anything. Make sure you get the project right because it's worth 40 points, which is the most points that I've offered this quarter. So it can really boost your grade a lot. If you need any questions answered, make sure you email me so I can help you out. And that's all I got.